Hello and welcome to another episode of the BashTalk podcast. It's been a long time, but I now have a dedicated venue where I can film my stuff, and it's not the best, but it's the starting point, isn't it?
Does the job.
Yeah. So I want to introduce a guest of mine today. Someone who's a young, up-and-coming businessman from the Nelson area, and he's also quite accomplished in terms of his training and various other things in terms of athletic endeavours. And it's Mesam Ali, and he's also not too far, so he's from my area.
Yeah.
He's a young lad as well. And Mesam, if you can just introduce yourself and just tell us a few words about yourself.
Yeah, so as Bash mentioned, my name's Mesam. From the same area as Bash, lucky for him. Working class lad, as is 99.9% of people from our area. Currently finishing my Masters off in sports nutrition. We've got one or two businesses up, and yeah, like to keep fit as well, like you mentioned.
Oh, cool. So you've got a lot going on.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is we'll break it down. So
Yeah.
we'll start right from the get-go. So how old are you now?
26.
Yeah, so you're 26 now.
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the first things that kind of set you off on your path related to anything to do with sports was you got a passion for boxing.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
So the passion actually come from, I was messing about with my cousin, Usman, who's your age, who you mentioned, and he winded me slightly.
Okay.
And that sort of bruised my ego.
Right.
So from there, I started like doing sit-ups, press-ups, like all that sort of stuff at home. I was in like year 9. Started road running again. After like 400-500 meters, I was gassed. So again, like it hurts your ego, like why can't I go on? So just had like a big knack for sports and fitness from there.
Okay.
Then obviously started training, went to a few boxing gyms. The first time I actually sparred a lad who was like 4 or 5 fights, undefeated. Ended up pointing him down in like the second round. So from there, your confidence just sort of grows.
Yeah.
Trained at Sandygate for a bit, moved to a gym in Manchester called Northside, then moved to another gym called Next Gen, and now I'm at a gym called Collier Moston, which is quite renowned.
Okay. And how are you finding training at the moment? Because one of the things I think it's something that I emphasize a lot from my previous podcast as well is that when people think about training, they just see highlight footage of someone smashing a bag. But what does training actually involve? Because it's a lot harder than what social media makes it look.
Yeah, for me, I say this all the time. What I struggle with is the planning. So a lot of the time, what burnt me out in the past as well was the planning. So like if you've got 2 sessions in the day, you've got to get up, you've got to have 2 gym bags packed, obviously your shower and your toiletries and all that stuff, and then like a training bag if you've got gloves and stuff. You've got to put that in your car, go to the gym, then you're in the gym for like maybe an hour and a half or 2 hours.
Yeah.
Then you got to shower, obviously, pack your bag. You've got to go home if you are going back home. Then you've got to unpack that first bag, repack it for your second training session, which is draining.
Yeah.
Then you've got to cook if you've not already made some food the night before or you're meal prepping. But if it's like brunch, you cook it there, isn't it? Eggs and avocado on toast. Eat that, then you've got to wash up or else you get told off. Then you've got to head out and do your day-to-day task, whether it's university, work, whatever it may be. Then you've got a second training session. You've got to do that. A lot of the time you're travelling to Manchester, park up, get in the gym, session's hard enough. Then you've got to do all that again. Then you get home, and then sometimes you're getting home at like 10:30, 11. That's before you've even like eaten or sat down or unpacked your bag.
Yeah.
And then you've got so much other things to do. That's not even the training side to it, but that's what I used to struggle with.
Yeah. So it's like when people are trying to like drop your WhatsApp messages thinking, yeah, why is this guy getting back to me after that 4 hours? Well,
Yeah.
now they know.
I'm super bad for it, as you know.
Yeah.
I'm bad for it.
But so that's one aspect of it. So that's just training itself, right? And then you've got the nutrition. So you can't be going out there having your greasy burgers and whatnot, can you?
No, you see it the next day, like you'll pay for it the next day. Whether you're training, running, whatever it is, you'll pay for it. And then when you have like a really bad session, a lot of people will be able to relate. It proper puts your mood off. Especially if you have a bit of sparring and you perform really bad.
Yeah.
You're just questioning it for like a full day.
Yeah. So it's, after a bad sparring session, you're kind of thinking, oh, I should have done this, should have done that, but I couldn't move. And then you think, actually,
It's
hang on a second. The night
none of
before, I had a big greasy doner kebab, you know.
that's being generous. I go home and like you think I should have gone down a different route, become a doctor or something like that. Sometimes it's really bad, man.
I'm going to be honest. It's the same for me, but
Yeah.
I didn't want to say it.
Yeah.
But no, you do sometimes leave a session thinking, can I do this?
Yeah.
But that's kind of the
It's
point, isn't it?
part and parcel of it, and a learning curve is as well. Not trying to not to fall into that.
Yeah.
Because as you know, training, like anything can happen. It's not about what you do in training.
And I think one thing I want to point out is he was talking about Usman getting him into it, but you know, if someone doesn't interpret it properly, they'd be like, bullying works. But it clearly doesn't. It clearly doesn't. Obviously, you give him the passion for it. Just in case someone's getting the idea of like, right, I'll beat my nephew.
No. We were just messing about, and when he winded me, it proper hurt my ego. Like I was just you like paralyzed, aren't you, for a minute?
Yeah.
So I thought, right.
He's
Start
got
getting
he's
strong.
got a
Went
liver
into
shot.
the Bruce Lee into the dragon mode.
So, from a competitive standpoint, what do you want to do next, or are you just thinking, do you just enjoy the training more at this moment in time?
So at this moment in time, to be fair, as a lot of people will know, like my best friend passed away last year, Nikosh Saeed, may Allah grant him Jannah. Jan 4th last year. From there, I'm going to say 10 months, I'm just limbo, just like not doing a run here and there. But as you know, being sport-specific fit and just being fit, two different things.
Yeah.
So I was like, just sort of just fit, as in like you go for a run just for like clear your head, or just tick box training session, go in, just train 15 minutes. So I'd like 10 months out of the gym, like actually being in a boxing gym. Started getting back into it just a few months ago, really, because that time period of maybe like September to maybe 2.5 months ago was just like a bit limbo, but a bit more focused than just sort of tick box training sessions.
Okay.
So we're back into it now, dropping the weight.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you're not exactly out of shape, if I'm being honest.
To be fair, for myself, I am, but that's just a personal thing, and like when you're looking at your running times and you're looking at performance indicators, but you just can't get too upset about it. You just got to take it a day at a time.
So what's your target 1 mile time for a run, for example?
So the fast.
What do you want?
For me, I've come away from all that now. So again, like this burnout that I had last year, I learned a lot about myself in terms of training. So like I used to, like you mentioned, we'd be at one of my friends' houses, we'd have order a pizza, order a burger or something. An hour later, I used to go for a run. And then the next day I'd go for a run. Just it was a conscious thing. I was overtraining, like the sort of the secondary training type of things, like long running, long distance running. Obviously, I'm not a long distance runner, so why am I doing so much? But in your mind, you just think, no, it's a performance indicator that you're fit, that you're healthy. So I was doing all that sort of stuff, like just smashing the sprints out, smashing loads of miles out. Fastest mile I've ever done is probably 5 minutes, 4 seconds. That was a mile flat. So. Wow. But now I'm just back into the frame of just enjoying runs. Like my times have come down from the few runs I've been on this week. I'm not too fussed about the running time. It's just about really enjoying it again.
Yeah, no, that's good. I think enjoying it is probably at this moment in time is probably more important.
Yeah, that's what's going to get you back. Because like when I first tried going back in, when I first got back into training in October, like sometimes I used to come home. You do a 10-mile run, and you come home, 45 minutes in my front room, yoga mat down obviously, and you're doing 3,000 sit-ups. That's taking you 45, 50 minutes itself. Right. So you go from that and then you go into a gym, you try doing like 50 and you're getting like pains, and you try running and it's like a mile's taking you 9 minutes now, whereas before it was 6 minutes 50, like easier. So you just can't get caught up too much on the numbers and the timings. You just got to start enjoying it again.
And you got to look at your body and recovery as well. Cool. And then... So boxing is one aspect of the many things that we're going to go into. So one of the things that I've noticed that you do is you're quite heavily involved in community-related activities. Also, you do some work with the NK Foundation. And to tell us all about it.
So the NK Foundation obviously started when Nikash passed away. So originally we were going to like raise some money for like an orphanage abroad. As friends and obviously some of his family, we just had an idea that if we can raise a lot of money in a short period of time, there's possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
So I set up a Just Giving page, GoFundMe page, one of the two, I can't remember top of my head. Response was mental, to the point that someone from Lancashire Live got in touch saying like, your cause is like the fastest growing one in this area. You know, it's number one trending. Like, people are just putting in £250 a year, £20, £5. It was non-stop.
Okay.
Done like an article with them, just talking about obviously Nakash, who he was as a person. Then people were getting involved, saying like, oh, can we want to do like a charity fundraiser or business, so we'll give him a shout out. Sultan Hayat from Briarfield, he had like a detailing centre, it was called Detailing Den. Done a car wash there, charity car wash. That raised like 10k.
Wow.
2 days later, Burger Bay in Nelson, Ishi Latif.
Yeah.
He said he wants to do one. Again, 10k there. We had friends coming from like out of town, Birmingham, Bury, Corn, like it was just non-stop. So like, I think we managed to raise like 50 grand, just over 50 grand in like 10, 12 days. So I've set up like a foundation, and then obviously the foundation's doing various good initiatives, like, you know, helping out with Pendle Hospice, water wells, water pumps abroad, food for people that are living in sort of poverty in various different countries. So there's all that side to it as well. Then also involved in the Pavilion Cafe, community cafe. It's called the Friendship Centre, Friendship Cafe. Sorry. So we've called it that because not everyone that's struggling is homeless. You know, they're struggling with loneliness. Just, you know, need someone to talk to. I got involved in that when I was probably about 16 or 17, through some people from like a Zikr group in mosque. So Shabazz, Arif Khan, I don't know if you know them. They were sort of like, because at that age, I didn't want to, you know, clean up and do stuff like that on a Friday night. So it weren't me being 17 and thinking I need to start doing good stuff. It was like, they were like, no, you need to sort of do it. It'll be good for you. So it took me a few years to realize like it's such a great thing to be involved in, be part of. But yeah, so that's like every Fridays, and then the cafe is open for business. It's a non-profit community cafe. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, all the money just goes back into them sort of local initiatives, which are good. But again, you get a mix of people coming, mix of ages, races, you know, genders, people from all over.
Right, you'll notice there's a bit of an editing cut there. The microphone's died. Bad preparation on my part. Apologies. So Mesam, if you can go back to the pavilion aspect. So you were was putting some time in at the pavilion.
Yeah.
And that was, you were getting kind of encouraged to do. So basically, when I was in the community, were kind of...
Yeah, when I was younger, yeah.
Yeah. And did you find that quite fulfilling, or was it?
100%. 100%, yeah. Even just from like a work point of view, like I got my work experience on my undergrad working as a PE teacher in Pendle Vale, because of a woman called Petra who was volunteering, and she was obviously the wife of the old head teacher in Pendle Vale, Mr. Wilson.
Okay.
So just from a community, enhancing employability sort of thing, like the possibilities are endless, you know, when you volunteer.
Yeah.
It just sort of enhances everything.
That's good. And then you went, so that's one aspect you do, but I've seen you've been mentoring, or is it kind of working with or giving lectures to high school people?
Yeah, so it's more like workshops. So Thursday, I actually went back to my old high school. So one of my old teachers, she was an assistant teacher. She's now a deputy head, 9-10 years on. She got in touch with me, just talking about things that you can do to help kids that are like sort of the bad apples. So kids that she said reminded herself, you know, of me.
Oh yeah.
Which was just mental, you know, getting them emails. Like I was speaking to one of my friends, going back into school for that purpose. For me, it felt better than my undergrad graduation. Yeah, because you never. I mean, at the back of my mind, I used to say it to like managers and like old work colleagues, you know, when you call us back in for school and stuff, then you realise all that sort of stuff. But actually doing it, two different things.
Did you? So she's got in touch, and you must have gone, hang on a second. I was like one of the worst students. What are you calling me for?
Yeah, I put like, obviously you've seen it on Facebook and Instagram and stuff, but predicted 2 GCSEs because I failed my mocks.
Right.
Just because bad attitude, you can't be bothered.
Yeah.
Banned from prom, so many things, you know, sent out of class every day like a lot of kids, just non-stop causing havoc. To go from that to this is like, it's just You didn't. You'd expect it to be maybe like someone else, like a set one kid who's done that.
Yeah.
Not become a doctor or like I don't know, but
instead you're checking your inbox. Like, is this the right person?
Yeah.
Well, that's good, man. That's really good. So when you're doing them kind of workshops, what is it? Just a case of you kind of telling them a little bit about your life and your work ethic and drive and stuff?
Yeah. So it's just about. So you're speaking to kids. So I've got a group of 12 kids. They're year 10. They're going to be going into year 11. So I'll be working with them in September and then for the rest of the academic year. But it's just about getting rid of bad attitude traits that, once upon a time I had and I probably still do have. But you were showing them in class and where they can negatively affect you. Because when you're in high school, obviously, both know your teachers really have your back. They look after you. When you get to college, they do. But more and more you sort of climb the academic ladder, eventually you're really independent. Not to say that the teachers and the tutors don't look after you in university, because they do. But when you're in college and you're in university, the gulf in like what the teachers are doing for you is different.
Yeah, I bet, yeah. So, did you manage to get any feedback from the students afterwards and say, I look forward to it?
No, not the students, but the staff were like all buzzing with it. They were like, something good to do, and obviously circle of life kind of thing. You're giving back, and if you can sort of change like a few kids just to show them like what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing, and sort of what is cool and what isn't cool, then it's worthwhile. Like I mentioned smoking to them, because obviously when you're young, you think, oh, it's cool because you look up to people that are doing it, but just said to them, like, what's so cool about having yellow teeth? Breath that stinks, like, just looking, and they were like, just gobsmacked, they were like, yeah, actually, what is so cool about it?
I think when there's someone that's more on their level explaining it as opposed to a teacher, it probably hits home.
Yeah, you relate it better, don't you?
Yeah. And then you are also PT?
No, so I was personal training, more so in COVID times.
Right.
But the energy that it requires for every single client means that you can't you're sort of drained. So if I was 3 jobs in COVID, so I was a receptionist at Endel Wavens.
Yeah.
Obviously I was furlough until it opened again. Then I was working in O2 in Berra on the call centre on sales. Then I was doing personal training, so I was like juggling 3 jobs and then training twice a day. So it's like you're getting up at 6.
Wow.
And then you're going to sleep about 11, half 11, 12.
I think while we're talking about personal training, I think one thing that people really don't understand properly about, when you get some kind of like a coach or a personal trainer and stuff, it's a lot more draining than people realise.
Yeah, the energy that you've got to put in for every single client, like you've got to be very enthusiastic. You can't be dead, like you can't be a deadbeat, or else they're not going to come back to you again.
Yeah.
You've got to track everything that they do, obviously, and then it's like another client, so then you start it all again.
Yeah.
So like loads of times I was just having my food whilst I was warming up 10-15 minutes, or else I wouldn't have a break.
Yeah. That's having a very intense time.
Yeah. Loads of people like to say, oh, why don't you open up a boxing gym? It's a lot harder than people think it is. Like there's Shane Singleton in Corn. He's had his gym now for about a year and a bit, but he wakes up at 4 and sleeping at 11. Literally, because he does PTs back to back to back, and then he's got his classes back to back to back, and it's non-stop.
It's a grind, isn't it?
Yeah.
Respect to the guy.
Yeah, people don't realise he's doing good work. Like he's getting, I think, 40-50 kids each session, and then he's speaking to them about the mistakes that he made as well.
Right.
So he's like mentoring kids as well, doing a really good job.
We'll have to try and get a conversation with him if you can help.
Shane,
yeah,
we're gonna get you in.
I'm speaking to someone like him, yeah. So that's one aspect. So now we're going past COVID time, and you'll notice the people who are listening. Again, apologies for the audio, but we've got some branded t-shirts on. Do you want to tell us a little bit?
We have, yeah. So I used to do Nike resell when I first started university. Sort of packed that in. Started my own clothing line about 2 years ago. Just made the website. Name, it means FORBA actually means to dream in Swedish.
Okay.
So I was born in Sweden.
Alright, okay.
Yeah, so first the business name was Top Boy Trends. That's when I just used to sell Nike reselling like t-shirts and shoes and stuff. Then I thought I need a bit of a more professional approach. So I changed it to Pendle Activewear.
I remember that.
Yeah, so it's Pendle Activewear. After about 6-7 months into that, a company called Pendle Sports or something along those lines, kept emailing me saying, look, copyright, blah, 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 all that stuff. I was just ignoring the emails like I do with a lot of things. Then they sent me like a really, scary one, and I was like, I'll just change the name, like it's not even that deep. So came up with FORBA, literally went on word of the day, like a Swedish site, because I'm born in Sweden. Yeah. So you know what, everything's taken, like any name that I could think of was like, it was copyrighted, there was something to do with it, affiliated to that name. So that was it, that was the birth of FORBA. Made a website, just sat on it for like 2 years, just didn't give it no time, but because I've not been sort of training as much past few months, I thought, now's the time to sort of invest into the business, invest some time, energy, and things, truth be told, in the last 5-6 weeks, things have come into fruition like I thought would take years. Or maybe not years, but maybe a year. Like I've read the book Shoe Dog. I don't know if you've heard of it. So it's about the Nike, the person who made Nike. Okay. It's called Blue Ribbon Sports or something along those lines. But what he did in like literally 15 months, we've like sort of done in like 2 months in terms of like sales, brand awareness, brand movement, like a cult, creating like a cult following. It's been honestly like just jump packed.
Good. So you basically, it's not like you just don't woke up one day and say, right, I'm going to sell t-shirts and...
No.
I don't know, you've done your research.
To be fair, the idea was in college. So I did engineering in college just because like all the boys were doing this. You just jump on it, don't you?
Yeah.
And obviously like we just used to wear tracksuits every day. And my mum used to say to me like, don't wear tracksuits all the time, you look chubby and stuff. And then I used to think, if you had your own brand, that'd be quite cool, innit? And this was like when Gymshark was like a baby. And then obviously you see him go on and just like, I think he's the youngest billionaire in the country now. His brand's like massive.
Yeah.
It's huge. So you have that idea like from a young age, and then when you see people doing it, you realise like, do you know what? You can do it. Like someone has to be number one. May as well be you.
There has to be competition.
There is, yeah. So there's the activewear side to it, and there's nutrition as well. So FORBA Nutrition is like a sister part of the company. So obviously I work as a nutritionist. I've not finished my masters yet, but I've got clients. We go into schools, football clubs, professional boxers, doing public sort of interventions with them, educating them on like sort of nutrition, lifestyle. So I was working with Nelson Football Club last season, and they had like a change in managers and like club owners, and I just thought, I'll just take a back step from here. I focus on other things, but there's the nutrition side of things as well, which is quite busy.
You're a very busy man.
Yeah, try to stay busy.
Nice, very good. So you did a master's in sports nutrition?
Sports nutrition, yeah. So still finishing that off. I've got like 2 months left. Just under maybe 2 months. Undergrad was in sports science.
Yeah.
Coaching and development, yeah, I think it was called.
That's a lot now under your belt as well. So with the clothing brand now,
yeah.
How's the initial uptake been then? How's promotion been? How's sales? What have you learned?
So to be fair, I'm gonna be honest, yeah, I've just been winging it. Just totally just winging it. Just whatever you feel like doing. Like when I get clothes made, when I got my tracksuits made, it took a long time to design them because like you were thinking something's coming, and then when it arrives, it's like, no, I can't sell this. Like it's just,
yeah,
things are just not right here. But then you're always gonna get people saying, "Oh, do you know what you should do? You should get gold zips. You should get." You've just got to just follow what you want to do, and just if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But it's getting to the point now where it's just super busy. So at the moment, we're like based in my front room at my house. We're moving out there soon. That's what I mean. Like I didn't expect in 2 months I'd have to move out there. As in, we need like an office or like a shop front, so to say. Yeah. But I've sort of outgrown the front room kind of thing on the bedroom. Sales are like obviously increasing all the time. So it's very good. Like you go to sleep, you wake up, and then you've got 5 sales. So it's like whilst you've been asleep, some people have just been ordering. Getting to the point like now where some of my friends are like, look, I'm going on holiday, I need some clothes, and you think, wow, there's all these other brands that they could wear, but they put in the trust in you to look good. Your brand. Kids before Eid, they were like, listen, I need a track, so I'm thinking flipping heck. I remember when I was a kid, Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a good buzz buying stuff for Eid, and they're like, I need a tracksuit for Eid. So it's just, honestly, it's gone from strength to strength. And we're like, what, 6 weeks of just proper focus. You know, like the past 6 weeks, 7 weeks, I've gave it strategic time, thought, you know what, I need to do X, Y, Z. The following's all branding, like there's no paid promotion. Sorry, the following's all organic. There's no paid promotion. There's no, do you know what I mean? It's just a case of me putting stuff up, my friends sharing, which goes like a massive, it's a massive help. You know, one of my friend, his mum and dad, Mick and Michelle, they've got a joint Facebook. I've got to give them a shout out, and whatever I share on Facebook, I put my phone away, I look at it 10 seconds later, they've already shared it, and I put a comment on. So it's like that sort of support that you get from a lot of people that sort of goes a long way.
Yeah. You can't be on your own. So you've got, well, so it's mainly like tracksuit kind of sports clothing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like sportswear, but I have gone into like sort of loungewear as well. Not too much, but like Nike joggers, hoodies, things that you wear, because you've got to look at it from like how athletes live their life, but it's made for everyone. So like when they finish the gym session, they want to get into something a bit comfy, that looks good, that feels good, but the brand values are like, it's about uplifting people, enrichment, because everything that I do, so to say, like the mentoring inside the school, that's part of FORBA, so of uplifting people, having that community enrichment in terms of like showing good morals, good values. So it's like when you wear FORBA, you sort of feel like you belong to like a community that just sort of like everyone's just doing well, they want to do well.
So we want, well, a lot of what we talked about today is like, it's quite positive. It's like, yeah, you know, I'm doing this, and it's all kind of like good stuff basically.
Yeah.
But there's got to be some negatives. So if you've got any negatives for us, anything that you want to talk about, like, you know what, this man I've done so well, and from that I've learned that X, Y, and Z.
To be fair, no. Honestly, there's
positive guy.
Yeah, but I can only really look at it from like the only negative would be why didn't you do this sooner? But everything's a learning curve, isn't it? Like you literally can't think like that. Like maybe I would have done it earlier on, and it would have been a total flop.
Yeah.
So everything's just timing. But like the trajectory that we're on now, it's just like without a shadow of a doubt, inshallah, God willing, we'll be in big retail stores like within 12 months, easy. By the end of the year, we'll be in some. To be fair, we've had to like turn down the retail store just because what FORBA is in terms of like what it stands for, how the market price and everything, it doesn't align with that retail brand. And it's a massive retail company. That's all I can say. Like I can't say too much, but
obviously, gotta stick to NDAs and stuff. But no, that's fine. Apologies, the studio is still under construction, but need to work on these things.
Need to work on the ventilation.
Yeah, ventilation especially, and the audio lesson learned for next time. So potentially, because what I was going to go on to is talk about next, you know, the future, what's in for you. So future, one aspect is you want to try and get into, you know, some partnerships with retail vendors and whatnot, and anything else like that you're going on?
Yeah, so it won't be trying because it's inevitable. It's literally inevitable. It's just a matter of time and just seeing what sort of where something fits well. Because like the example that I gave, the retail company, huge, it's a household name, but FORBA doesn't fit there in terms of listing it, the price that they wanted, what that sort of retail company sort of stands for. It doesn't fit, so it's just about finding what does. Obviously finishing the Masters off, we're getting back to competing as well. Spoke to Tommy like a week ago, so we'll be back out competing hopefully start of September, middle of September.
Tommy's your coach,
yeah? Yeah, middle of September. Finishing the Masters obviously is a big one, and then once that's out of the way, I can focus on the nutrition side of things as well, growing that as a big company. The vision for that as well is obviously nutrition. Good nutrition amplifies whatever you do. Whether you're an athlete, you work in an office, you're a solicitor, whatever you do, nutrition goes hand in hand with everything. So, as you know, like you compete wrestling, nutrition's important. So it's just about having that company, that brand, involved in sort of everything. So in terms of organisation, working with kids, working with athletes, being involved in like governing bodies, being involved in education institutions like schools. Everyone needs like a nutritionist, whether they whatever type of work that they're doing, whether it's just consultancy work, coming in speaking to kids, maybe just looking at what sort of stuff that they offer. So even as little as like having infographics up around the school, why you should stay hydrated, what sort of foods you should be eating, because like the percentage of this country, of like probably the world, that like do stuff like skip breakfast or make the wrong food choices, and then it has a big implication on like the health, not even later down the line, but like maybe a year later. So it's just about growing that as a brand as well. And then obviously the sportswear side of things goes sort of hand in hand with that, because the values sort of are the same. It's about living good, looking good, feeling good.
And I'm just laughing as you were saying it, but just like
it's sugar free though, isn't it?
Sugar free, yeah. I'm still feeling bad after talking to you. So your answer to that would be just drink water.
Drink water, obviously everything, in
moderation.
Yeah, I don't want to say it, but
Yeah. No, I've got an unhealthy addiction to sugar free, but at least it's not full fat.
At least it's not full fat, but when I drink, I prefer full fat. So
there you go. But then again, see, you've got self control, haven't you?
Sometimes, yeah. When you go off that, like, it's just non-stop sometimes.
Yeah. So, what I'll do, I just started to round off this chat / podcast. What's have you got any like closing words? Anything that you want to like almost like a closing message for people that are tuning in for you? Because let's be honest, they're not tuning in for me. So, have you got any words for them?
Any words? Just keep an eye out. Follow FORBA, support FORBA. Just keep an eye out, because, like I said, 12 months time, this company will be massive. There's no doubt about it. The trajectory that we're on, there's no doubt about it. It's not, if, it's when. It'll be massive.
No, I'm happy to hear it. I think, I think I'm going to take this opportunity to say, while you just said that once you make it to the top, don't forget about.
Don't worry, man. Once, inshallah, God willing, when we get to the top, everyone will just be friends and family that are working at the top, innit?
Yeah, I look forward to it. And I just want to thank you for coming.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me.
It's the first time, and obviously I apologise for the teething trouble with the microphone. So this part of the podcast you're listening to, I'll have to tidy up the audio. I've got my ways. So, and we will hopefully get something FORBA related.
Yeah, we'll have something FORBA up, yeah.
But we will be getting you again, inshallah.
Inshallah, yeah. Look forward to it. Thank you very much, Bash.
Do we schedule for 1 year's time, 12 months?
What's that?
The next episode review.
I'll do it sooner, because in 12 months' time, you might have to pay me, innit?
Yeah. 12 months' time, you won't even step foot in this dusty little studio.
No, inshallah, 12 months' time will be even bigger.
Inshallah.
Everything.
Inshallah. So right then, again, apologies for the audio and the teething troubles, but I do want to say a massive thank you to Mesam, and hope you guys benefit from it. And apologies, me and Mesam, we keep looking down this way, and the reason we keep looking down here is because I've got a giant monitor.
He just likes looking at himself.
Yeah, I can't help it. So if you just say bye to the monitor now. So over and out, guys.
See you later.